Hi everyone, I am Mrs. Thompson, and as you know, I'm the art teacher at Elizabeth Smith Elementary, also known as the Innovative Learning Academy. And for second, first, and kindergarten, this is what we're making this week. We are making a color wheel turtle. And the turtle, or the color wheel, will show you the colors of the rainbow. It'll also show you our primary colors and our secondary colors. Remember, your three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, make every single color in the world. Every color comes from at least two of those mixed together in different combinations. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll need some paper, crayons, markers, pencil, and an eraser. Okay, so the first portion of this video is for kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. And first you want to make sure your paper is going up and down, where it's tall and skinny. And then we need something round that we can trace around. We want it to take up a lot of our paper, but we don't want it to take up too much because we need room for our turtle's head and we need room for our turtle's legs and feet. So we want it to be about that big, if that makes sense. Now what you're going to need to do is, for those of you that are Virtual Academy, you're going to have to look around your house. Perhaps a bowl, a plate, a toy, or a container. I went searching around my classroom, and in my centers I have this container of brain flakes, and as you can see, it is a circle. So I put it on the paper, and that takes up almost the perfect amount of space. So hit pause and go find something round that's pretty large but not too big. So hit pause and go do that now. Alright, so now you've hopefully found something to trace around. Again, it could be a bowl, a plate, a container, a toy. And we're going to, of course, hold it still. And I'm going to trace around it with a pencil. Alright, and then when I take it off, I have a nice circle. Okay, now we're going to turn that circle into a color wheel. And the way we're going to do it is by first, we're going to draw a line that chops it in half. Okay, now you may want to draw this kind of light. So if you make a mistake, you're able to erase it. And speaking of, I just realized I need to make sure I have my white pearl eraser out. I recommend white pearl first, pink pearl second, and then if you don't have a lot where you are, you could just use the one on the end of your pencil. And I normally don't recommend drawing with mechanical pencils, but it's all I happen to have right now. So anyway, I am going to take a ruler and I am going to draw a line right across the middle. I'm going to make a little dot there. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Keep in mind, you're still pretty young. So, I've got it lined up with the dot, and I'm going to draw a line. Now, if you don't have a ruler, you could just draw that line on your own. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's totally fine. All right, now we're going to draw a line that goes across the circle like this. So again, I can line my ruler up with that if I want, or you can just draw it on your own. And then I'm going to make a line that goes across like this. And again, you could just draw that on your own, especially those of you in kindergarten and first grade. You might not be quite ready to use a ruler yet. And there's my other line. Okay? And so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. Now I accidentally went a little too far there. All right? Now, next thing I'm going to do is draw my turtle's head. The turtle head is going to be on the top here, and it's just going to be kind of a circle, ovalish kind of shape. And again, remember to not draw too dark, because if you do, and you make a mistake, it's really hard to erase it. So one thing we say here a lot at our school is draw light until you know you have it right. All right, so there's my turtle's little adorable head. And again, remember, it doesn't have to look exactly like mine because we're all different people. Now we're going to draw his two front legs right here. So his foot's going to kind of come out, be a little round, and come back in. He's already so cute. I love him. And then I don't know if turtles have toes, but I'm just going to do that because I think it'll be cute. All right, now I'm going to come over here and do the same thing on this side. Comes out, around, in, and down. Now notice this foot is quite a bit bigger than this one, but I'm not going to worry about that, okay? We're not scientists trying to make a diagram. We're artists having fun and creating. All right, now I'm going to do his back legs. His back legs are going to be a little more of just an oval. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. I love him. All right, and then I'm going to do another one. And again, notice my foot looks a little squished there. I'm just fixing it, but I'm not trying to make him perfect. And then our turtle needs a little skinny tail. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. I just love him. I love animals, if you can't tell. All right, now I'm going to make a little face on my turtle. He or she's going to have a little smile because they're happy. And I'm going to make little eyes. Now keep in mind when you're drawing this, you're drawing the face upside down because your turtle's looking this direction. If that's confusing for you, you can always turn your paper around, especially those of you in kinder and first. That might be a bit confusing for you to try and draw upside down, so you might want to just turn it around. And then as you can see, we have a precious, adorable turtle. Now we are also going to just draw a few little waves. Maybe our turtle's swimming, okay? So I'm not going to go crazy cuckoo with it. I'm just going to draw a few waves here and there. We don't want it to look like Attack of the Waves on our picture. We just want a few here and there because he's swimming. That's why his feet are like this, because he's swimming away. And then if you want to give your turtle eyelashes, maybe it's a girl turtle, you can. You don't have to. All right. Oh, it's so adorable. All right, now the next step. Now I know my Elizabeth Smith people know what's coming next. You're probably shouting it at the camera. But next we're gonna do black Sharpie, and we are gonna trace over everything. Every single pencil line that we just made, we are tracing over. When we're done, there will be no pencil showing. If someone came and looked at your picture when you're done with this step, you could trick them into thinking that you drew it with a Sharpie and you didn't even use a pencil because you were so confident with your drawing skills. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward to do this part and catch up with you in just a second after we all do our black Sharpie. Okay, now I'm back and I just finished the black Sharpie, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm noticing I missed a few things. Do you see anything I missed with the Sharpie? Can you see any pencil? I see 1, 2, 3 spaces that I missed. I accidentally missed right here because I see pencil. I don't want that. Oh, and I missed right here. Oh, and I missed right here. Okay, so now, did I get all the pencil? It looks like I did. Okay, so now our next step, and again, my Elizabeth Smith friends should know, is eraser time. Anywhere you can still see some pencil peeking out, you are going to erase it, because that way it'll look nicer and it'll look a little bit neater. And again, I know some of the other art teachers use Sharpies a lot as well, and we do that because it makes the lines on your picture look bold and brighter, and it just makes your drawing stronger and more interesting, especially once you color it or paint it. because then those pencil lines kind of get overpowered. And if you've done it in Sharpie, then you can definitely see your drawing that you created. All right, look at that. Look how fantastic our turtle looks. I love it. Okay, so now we are going to add the color for our color wheels. And this step is very important because certain colors have to go in certain spots. First of all, they go in ROYGBV order. That means red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Okay, and you can see that on the screen right now. So what I need you to do, we're going to use markers or crayons or a little bit of both. I'm going to use both, markers and crayons. You can use one or the other or both just like I am, but you need to get your ROYGBV colors. So go get those right now and hit pause, go get those and come back to the video. Okay, so now hopefully we have our markers and or crayons. And as you can see, I got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Now remember, violet and purple are the exact same thing. For whatever reason, that color has two names. In fact, if you look at my crayon, I don't know if you'll be able to see close enough, but it says violet, and then in parentheses it says purple. So for whatever reason, that color decided to be difficult and give itself two names. I'm going to start with my markers, and I'm going to place them where I want them to be, especially those of you that are in kindergarten and you've probably never done a color wheel ever. We want to place them in place first so we don't get confused. So I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet or purple. Because every year I see kindergartners accidentally put the wrong color in the wrong place because it's so easy to lose track when you're using all these colors. And again, you've never done this before. So I'm going to start with red. Red is going to be on the top by your turtle's head. And I am going to outline the shape, and it's kind of like a pie shape or a slice of pizza shape. Right? And so now I know that that part of the color wheel is red. Next I'm going to do orange. And again, I'm outlining the shape with orange. Then I'm going to do yellow. Now, if you don't have markers, you're just using crayons, you could outline with your crayons as well. It works exactly the same way. Then I have green, and blue, which happens to be my favorite color, and violet or purple. That's my second favorite color. So I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Okay, purple is by his, I'm trying to fix that outline there. Purple is by his left foot, orange is by his right foot. Right where yellow and green meet, back here where blue and green meet. The tail's at green, the head's at red. Because again, the order does matter. Now I'm going to take my crayons and I am going to color in each of those shapes with the correct colors. So again, where I outlined in red, I'm going to color with red. Where I outlined in orange, I'm going to color with orange. Be sure you match your colors correctly. Those of you in kinder or first doing the virtual academy, if you need to ask an adult, you know, before you do something, it's totally fine. All right, sorry about that. Let me answer the phone. Okay, sorry about that interruption, but I went ahead and used that opportunity to finish coloring my color wheel. So what you can do is go ahead and hit pause right now and finish coloring your color wheel. Be sure you can hit pause where you can see mine right now and finish coloring. Okay, so now we are going to color our adorable little turtle. So first I am going to outline his head and feet and tail with a marker, and then I will color him in with a crayon. Now again, you don't have to use markers and crayons. That's what I have chosen to do. And keep in mind, your turtle doesn't have to be green. You can get creative and make him or her any color you want them to be. If you want a rainbow turtle, a pink turtle, a purple turtle, a brown turtle, whatever you want it to be, that's totally fine. Now I am going to try and find a little bit of a different green than I used on my color wheel. This one's a yellow green, a Granny Smith green, and a forest green. I think I'm going to go with the yellow green. Yellow green means it is a combination of yellow and green. So it'd be a color that could be in between there. And I'm going to color his arms and legs and feet and tail and head. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. You can hit pause and finish coloring your turtle as well. Okay, so now my turtle is colored and she's adorable. Notice I gave her a little bit of lipstick there. You can do that, but you don't have to. Now for my waves, I'm going to take my blue, but I'm actually going to get a different blue. This one's a little bit of a lighter blue. And I'm going to outline my waves with the blue. And then you could stop with that and leave it as is and just have the waves outlined like I'm doing. Or you could go ahead and take a crayon and you could color the water blue. It's completely up to you. Now I am going to use a combination of my dark blue and my lighter blue, and I just kind of decided that just now. And that's the cool thing about art. It's one of the reasons I chose to teach art, is there's no wrong answers. Literally anything can go, and that's one of the things I love about it. It's not like math and science where you have a wrong answer. Alright, so there I have my waves done, and I think I'm going to leave it just like that because I think it's adorable. But if you really want to color your water, you can. If you're going to color your water, go ahead and hit pause now. Otherwise, we're done creating our turtle. Now, one thing you need to know, besides the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, is you have your three primary colors. You have red, yellow, and blue, and those are the three colors that make every color in the world. For example, if I mix red and yellow, I get orange, and that's why orange lives in between them. So it's kind of like these are the parents, this is the kid. Okay? If you look at, again, we got our three primary colors. Blue and yellow make green, and that's why green lives in between them. And then blue and red make purple or violet, and that's why he lives in between them. So what I'm going to do, and this is up to you if you want to do it, but on my three primaries, on red and yellow and blue, I put a large letter P. What do you think that P stands for? It stands for primary, because those are these three colors make, some combination of them makes every single color that's in the world. And we're going to talk about mixing colors a little more later. And then these three colors are what you call secondary colors because they come second. All right? So I'm going to make a little S because it's not quite as important as the primary. A little S and a little S. So remember, you have your three primary colors that make every color in the world. Their secondary color lives in between the two that make it, and you have ROYGBV. Now for those of you in second grade, You also have complementary colors. And you may remember, those of you that go to Elizabeth Smith, you may remember when you made this back in first grade or kindergarten. And this arrow shows you the complementary colors. Those are the colors that are across each other from the color wheel. Red and green are opposite or complementary colors. So are blue and orange. So are purple and yellow. That means they're the exact opposite of each other, and they make each other stand out and look better and look brighter. That's why red and green are the Christmas colors, because they make each other look really good. You'll also notice in a lot of like team mascots and things like the UTA Mavericks, they use blue and orange because they're complementary colors. And then you see a lot of purple and yellow together because it makes them stand out. So those are complementary colors, but you don't need to know that until you're in second grade. But the most important thing to know is the primary and the secondary and the color mixing. And we're going to talk more about the color mixing a little later. But for now, that's your project for the week, and it looks absolutely adorable. Be sure you fill out your Google form so that you get credit for your participation grade. If you're at one of our other schools, do whatever it is you know your art teacher wants you to do, whether it's seesaw or Flipgrid or whatever she has you doing, but be sure you do it so you get your participation grade. Thank you. Hi guys, Mrs. Thompson here. I am the art teacher at Elizabeth Smith Elementary, also known as the Innovative Learning Academy. And in 3rd and 4th grade this week, we are making this really cool color wheel. It is a color wheel that shows your primary colors, your secondary colors, and your tertiary colors, which for some of you might be a new concept or term. We're also, instead of just making it a boring old color wheel, trying to find my boring color wheel. Blah, boring. We are making it look like some really cute buildings that have faces. Some of you have learned about James Rizzi. He's the one that does those really cute birds and the murals and tends to make buildings and inanimate objects look like they have faces and personalities. And so that is what we're making this week. You're going to need paper, pencil, a ruler, an eraser, and crayons or markers. All right, so get ready and let's begin. Okay, so now that we have our circle in the middle, we are going to draw the lines that are going to separate each color of the color wheel. Now this part could be a little confusing, but you can do this. Remember, you can pause and rewind the video as many times as you need to see how I do this. But I'm going to draw 12 lines that radiate out from the color wheel, kind of like when you draw the rays coming out of the sun. And I'm going to make 12 of them going all the way around as evenly spaced as I can. Now first, I'm going to just kind of sketch it out. See how I'm drawing really soft, light lines? Because I'm trying to make sure I'm getting them kind of evenly spaced. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now see, I'm erasing that, so it's a good thing I drew it light. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that's not perfect, but it's pretty good. All right, so now that I've sketched it out, I'm going to use my ruler to make them nice and neat and straight. And we're going to make it go out from the circle, again, like the rays of a sun. And we're going to make it longer, but we're not going to make it go all the way to the edge because we need room to do the roofs and stuff of our building. So I'm going to where I sketched each one of those out. And remember, if there was any of them you didn't like where they landed, that's why you draw light, so you can erase it. And again, remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. And again, right now, it's going to look just like a sun. If someone came in and looked at your drawing right now, they'd be like, Why are you drawing a sun? But that would be kind of a cool color wheel too, would be to draw a sun, but instead of yellow and orange, you do the colors of the color wheel. That'd be a cool project to think about for someday. Alright, so now I have my little rays coming out. Now, I made a couple of little mistakes. You see where I made them. I made some of my lines too long accidentally. And I was distracted because I was talking to you. Kind of like what happens to you when you're in art class. So I'm going to get my white pearl eraser. And remember, it doesn't have to be a white pearl. That's what I recommend. I know some people use pink pearl erasers. Those are okay too. I just like the white pearl a little better. I feel like it erases a little cleaner. Alright, so, and I'm not trying to make it perfect or each line the exact same length. But now I have my sections for my different colors. Alright, so the next part is to draw the roofs of our building. Some buildings are going to be a little taller and some buildings are going to be a little shorter. So for example, I'm going to start with this little section right here, and I am going to draw a roof that's just a little bit curved. And then I need to erase that line because that one was a little too long. Right now it looks kind of like the blade on a ceiling fan, doesn't it? Alright, so there's building number 1. Now this one's going to be a little shorter, and I'm going to make it a little more curved. Alright, and so that's building number 2. Now this one, I don't need to erase that little line because this next building is going to have a taller roof. And I'm going to do what's called a scalloped line. That is when it kind of curves like that. And it's not perfect there, but again, we don't have to be perfect. We're not art robots. Thank goodness. All right, now for this one, it's going to be a little shorter. And the reason you want to do the different heights is it makes it more interesting. If they were all the exact same length going around, it'd be a little boring. This one, I'm going to have a pointy roof. So I'm putting a little dot there, and I'm going to put a straight line here and here. All right. Now this next one, trying to decide what I want. I'm going to do a line kind of like you would have in a castle, where you have the straight line and then you have the little rectangle that kind of pops up. And I'm just deciding these as I go. It's not like there's any master plan. There we go. Looks neat. I'm really happy with it so far. Alright, I'm going to do another curved line, and I'm going to make this one pretty short. Trying to even out that arch a little bit. Again, even I'm not drawing perfect, you know. Alright, now for my next building, I'm going to do a zigzag line. I love zigzag lines. Alright, and then I'm going to do kind of a medium height building with a curved roof. Notice how I'm doing it a little lighter this time, so it'll be a little easier to erase. Okay, and then just trying to think here. I'm going to make, this one's going to be super tall, okay? And I am going to make it where it kind of has that scalloped edge again, but it's coming up to a point here, and then it comes back down like that. Right, and then I can erase that little dot. Alright, Now I'm just going to do a, let's do another point. No, because that one's kind of pointy. Let's do a straight one. I haven't done a straight one, just a straight across building, like you would have on a skyscraper. All right, now let's do another castle looking one. Go across and up and across. Now keep in mind as we're doing this, you don't have to make yours look exactly like mine. You may have ideas that haven't occurred to me, and you can totally do that. We don't have to be the same. And then on this last one, it's going to come to a point. And look at that. Now I have all my buildings drawn. That's very interesting. Now, we're going to kind of decorate them up a little bit. This guy, I'm going to put kind of an antenna on him. And I'm going to put one eye open and one eye like he's blinking. And then his mouth is a window. Notice how I did these lines going in, because it's going to get smaller as it goes down. So there's building number one. Now again, you don't have to do yours the same as mine. Here I'm going to give it a little bit of decoration going across, and a zigzag line, and it needs eyes. I'm going to do eyes like this. Color those in dark later, and the smiles like that. He's cute. I'm gonna give him a little tongue too. Maybe he's thirsty. All right, and keep in mind you can turn this as you're doing the building, so you're not necessarily drawing upside down. This one I'm just gonna give it a window and some scalloped lines, and it's not necessarily gonna have a face per se. All right, this one, I'm just going to give it two round eyes, the dark part of the eyes, some eyelashes, and let me think. His mouth is going to look kind of like it's just a decoration here, because it basically is. All right, now moving on to this little short dude. I'm going to give him multiple antennas. This is Spectrum or Charter, getting our internet from them. Alright, and then I'm just going to do a little rectangle window here. This one isn't going to necessarily have a face either. And let's just give it a little stripe. Okay, next building. Oh, this one, let's make it kind of like a monster, but a happy, friendly monster. He just has one eye and a crooked smile. He's cute. I think he's my favorite so far. All right, his next door neighbor is, again, not necessarily going to have a face. It's just some little port windows like you would have on a ship, and then a rectangular window. And again, you don't have to make yours the same as mine. All right, this guy is going to have two eyes, but they're going to be kind of rectangular. Again, notice how the lines go in as I go down. And I'm going to do mouth like this. Maybe he's a little more serious. Oh, I like him. I'm going to give him some eyebrows. Maybe he's concerned. All right, next, let me think. I'm going to do another antenna. I like those antennas. And I'm going to do like signals coming out of them. And, okay, let's do one eye again, but this one will be a rectangle. And I'll color that in when I do the Sharpie step. Another crooked smile. Little tongue too. He's so cute. And I'm going to give him some little stripes. All right, only 3 more to go. Thinking, thinking, thinking. What do I want to do? Let's do another one that doesn't necessarily have a face. Has some triangular windows and a zigzag line, followed by a couple of straight lines. All right, next, thinking, thinking, thinking. Let's just go kind of simple. Oval eyes. Maybe it's looking over to the side. And we'll do this for its mouth, like it's like surprised, like, oh my goodness, what's happening? All right, and then one more. Thinking, thinking, thinking. Oh, let's do almost like he's blinking or closing his eyes. And then we'll do, it's like a decoration on the building, but it is his mouth. All right, and look how absolutely adorable that is. I absolutely love it. Okay, so now the next step, and all my Smith people should know, is Sharpie. I'm going to Sharpie over everything. I'm going to take my black Sharpie and trace over every single bit of pencil. So I'm going to fast forward. You can hit pause and go ahead and do your Sharpie part. Okay, so now that I've finished my Sharpie, the next step is the eraser step. And any pencil you can still see anywhere, you want to go ahead and erase that so it cleans it up before we start coloring. So go ahead and hit the pause button and do that now. Okay, now that we have everything Sharpied and erased, we are going to color our color wheel. But first we want to make sure we have our colors out and ready to go. I am using crayons for this and not markers, simply because there are a lot of different colors we're going to need for this one. This is a more expanded color wheel than the one you did when you were younger. So first I'm going to need my 3 primaries, red, yellow, and blue. Then I'm going to need my 3 secondaries, orange, green, and purple. And then I'm going to need what's called a tertiary. A tertiary is when you mix a secondary with a primary. For example, purple and red would be red purple. Orange and yellow would be yellow orange. Green and yellow would be yellow green. Green and blue would be blue green. Notice you use the primary's name first and the secondary color is second. Secondary is always second. If I mix blue and purple, I get blue purple or blue violet. And if I mix orange and red, I get red orange. So as you can see, a lot of marker sets don't have these tertiary colors. So that's why I'm using crayons. Now if you have a really big marker set and you have these colors, you can use markers. But make sure you have them before you start. You don't want to do it and then realize you don't have a yellow orange or you don't have a blue violet, because then I'll kind of mess you up. Alright, so first I'm going to kind of spread them out. I'm going to put red, orange, let's see, so it would be red, red orange, orange, yellow orange, yellow, yellow green, green, blue green, blue, stay put, blue, blue violet, violet, and red violet. Okay, so again, you can always pause and rewind as much as you need to, but it's red, red orange, orange, yellow orange, yellow, yellow green, green, blue green, blue, blue violet, violet, red, violet. Okay, and it does need to be in that order because whatever color you have lives in between the two colors that make it. So if I mix red and orange, I get red orange. If I mix orange and yellow, I get yellow orange. If I mix yellow and green, I get yellow green. If I mix blue and green, I get blue green. If I mix blue and purple, I get blue violet. If I mix purple and red, I get red violet. So the tertiary lives in between the secondary and primary color that makes it. Okay? So now that I have that, I'm going to take it one color at a time, and I'm going to try to color neat. Try to color in one direction. I'm not getting off to a very good start here. And don't rush, because this is going to be something that's really adorable. I think your parents will definitely hang it up on the fridge or somewhere. So there's my red. Now I've got my red, orange. Now things like the eyes and the windows, you're probably going to want to leave those white. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to finish coloring. You can hit pause and finish coloring yours. All right, and there we go. Now they're all colored, and look, I just love them. I think they're absolutely fantastic. Now, it is very important that you understand there's the three group of colors. There's your primary, secondary, and tertiary. Now, I'm going to label mine. You do not have to. I'm going to leave that up to you. But red is a primary, so I'm putting P for primary. Okay? Yellow is a primary, so I'm putting P for primary. And then my other primary is what? Blue, so I'm putting P for primary. So those are the very important ones because they make every color in the world. Okay? Then you have your secondary colors. Okay? You have purple, which is a secondary color. No, actually, sorry, I got confused. That is purple. That's your secondary color. Okay. Then you have orange. That's your secondary color because orange is red and yellow. Okay. Then you have green. That's a secondary color because green is made of yellow and blue. And then you have purple, which is made of blue and red. Okay. Then you have your tertiary colors. Those start with a T like you see on the screen right now. So red violet is made from violet and red. So that is a tertiary. This is red orange, tertiary. This is yellow orange, tertiary. Yellow green, tertiary. And blue green, tertiary. And finally blue violet, tertiary. Okay, and then that way you don't get confused. So again, remember it's primary, secondary, and then tertiary. And that is your color wheel for 3rd and 4th grade. Next week, we're going to be using analogous colors. So we'll talk more about that then. In the meantime, see if you can figure out what analogous maybe means. Okay? And then next week, we will talk about that with our next project. Thanks.